5 o'clock, and call this meeting to order. Mr. Jim Gibson, would you lead us tonight, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jim. Tammy, will you lead us, please?
Yes, I will. Those present are Mayor Shaw, Council Members Baker, Johnson, Armbruster, Kemp, and McVeigh. Staff present is myself, Tammy Justice, our attorney, our city engineer, our public works supervisor, our city planner, Lieutenant Brooks, and there are no unexcused absences.
Thank you, Tammy. Look for approval of agenda, please, Council.
I would like to make an amendment to the agenda.
Okay.
And I would like us to discuss and vote on the charges for We Love Rainier. We said we were going to do that at the last meeting, this meeting.
Okay. So we'll put that in,
Old business?
we'll put it in old business. We were going to talk about it in our staff reports, so we'll just do it old business then. Thanks, George. So we got a second? Okay. There's a motion and a second to amend the agenda. Any further discussion? No further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you, George. Okay, now we'll look for approval of agenda.
Move to approve the agenda? Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed 5-0. Thank you, Council. Please look for approval of the consent agenda.
Move approval of the consent agenda to include the March 28, 2023 claim vouchers 7607 through 7706, 3 EFTs in the amount of $12,333. The consent certified and approved March 28, March 14, 2023 meeting minutes, April 11, 2023 claim vouchers 7713 and 7725, and 2 FTs in the amount of $21,861.28, and March payroll in the amount of $33,363.52, and March 30th.
Second?
There's a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed 5-0. Thank you again, Council. Now we have public comment. Is anybody signed up?
Robbie is, yes.
I was going to ask the council to talk about the fees, but George beat me to that. So I'm just going to give a little report real quick. Did you guys see the video of the Easter event? Look on our Facebook page. There's a video on it. We had like 2,000 kids there, 2,000 people there. It was huge again this year. And the seniors filled 9,000 eggs, and they went like that. So we probably could have used like 9,000 more. But it was a pretty good event, even though it was raining and it was windy and it was ugly and all that stuff. So next up we have the talent show, which I don't have any information to give you because that's Veronica's baby. But then we have Retro Rainier coming July 1st. And we're hoping to have a really big crowd on that one. So, hey, come on out.
Add something to that. I just yesterday evening bought a bunch of plastic eggs. Easter's over, and they're real cheap. If you're feeling generous and want to support We Love Rainier and the Easter egg hunt, now's the time to do it.
Okay. Thank you, Robbie. Thanks, Dennis.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll go to staff reports. I'm going to start and change the order around, and then some of you guys are going to fill in some of the things I'm talking about. So, a week and a half ago, I got a phone call from Tenino's mayor and Napavine's mayor, wanting to see if we're interested in some chip sealing, going in and doing an interlocal agreement with TIB. was kind of spearheading it with Napavine being the lead agency. I got this phone call about 9 o'clock at night, and I'm going across Snoqualmie Pass, heading to Eastern Washington, and they had a meeting the next day in Winlock and the day after that in Tenino. So I had Mr. Gibson, Ron, attend the meeting in Tenino, and he had in the meantime had been contacted by TIB that never contacted me though, but they contacted Ron about the morning after I got the phone call. Sounds like a great project, and I'm going to let Ron, he knows all the particulars, and he is happy as can be that thinks this is a great project, that we're maybe going to get a $30,000 project for about $10,000, but I'm going to let Ron give you the particulars. So we are going to have to make a decision, right, Ron?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's now speaking for me on the particulars.
Okay. Thank you. I did go to the meeting and it was very interesting. This is a pilot program that's actually being proposed by the state TIB. It is a chip seal, crack seal, and scrub seal. And the way I understand it, scrub seal, I'm not real familiar with it other than I believe what used to be called a double shot and a fog. So it's a thicker type mat that they put down. Win-win. They rated it. They come out. They look at doing this summer. Construction slated for a time frame of from end of May through. So it's going to happen soon. There is a match of 5%. The 5% match means that technically we could end up with the city paying about $15,000 for that 5%. We're looking at about $300,000 worth of pavement repair done. And it's in multiple, it's included in your packet. You can see the map here that shows the multiple streets. It does not interfere with our 6-year transportation plan. This is above and beyond. It doesn't alter that, other than it might move a few of these down the line a little bit on it when we go to adjust that, when we review that. But great deal. Like I said, the pilot program right now, they've never done this before, and I do need to sign an agreement for a interlocal agreement with the city of Napavine, because they're the ones that's going to be ramrodding this whole thing as far as the pay. We pay them, TIB reimburses us, is the way that works, which is pretty standard on these. So, overall, win-win. I'm really excited about this, and it's the communities. We were actually invited, and we've got a big share of the money that is available. So I'm proud of that we were offered that up. It's various areas around town, as you can see on the map. They didn't just do some, but some of the problem streets that we've all been wanting to look at on Second and Idaho and some of those. Now this isn't an overlay. None of this is overlays. These are all crack seal, scrub seal, and a chip seal. So you're not going to get a whole lot done for overlay. But anyway, great deal. So I would hope that you guys would support that, and that's what I've recommended to the mayor. I think it's a great project.
I think it's a great deal too. I want a motion, or we want to talk about
Let's see if anybody has questions for Ron. Like I said, I didn't attend the meeting. I spent an hour on the phone with the two mayors beforehand. So if you got questions, see if Ron can answer them.
I saw this and read it online that Tammy sent out, and then I looked at it again to see. I think it's great if we can get all of this stuff done for $15,000. That's amazing. And I think it's pretty neat. It's a new innovation in that they reached out to us.
Yes.
And they're trying to, the small jurisdictions was going to be ourselves, Winlock, PL, Tenino, Toledo,
Vader.
There was 7 in Dakota.
I think it's
Like I said, I thought it was pretty nice that they kind of came out of Lewis County and took Dakota and Tenino and us in there. So. Ron?
Will this be something that's available in future years as well for TID?
I don't know, it's a pilot program, so we're not sure, it depends on how this plays out. I certainly hope so, because this is amazing. It's very, very hard to get local streets, any funding for local streets. And these are local streets that they're doing, so I certainly hope it is. And if it's successful, then I would imagine it would be available in future years.
The reason I asked too is because I noticed that it's starting to dry out on the asphalt up on Kitsu Loop now, and it'd be perfect maybe next year or the year after, at the latest, to get at least a seal of some sort.
Well, it certainly may be available. I don't know. I can't answer for sure
It's a
because it's a pilot
yeah,
program.
nobody can say.
So
What I find that's neat is a lot of these streets are really not in bad shape, but there's the
they're
point if
trying-
we do something now,
that's what they're
they'll
doing.
last
Prevent-
much longer.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and it's amazing how many streets that are covered here.
Yeah. I think it's a great deal.
Any other questions for Ron? Tom?
No.
George?
No,
Maureen?
that's great.
Okay, George. Any more questions? Now I'll take your motion.
I move that we accept the presentation on the crack seal for the city.
Second.
Okay, so the motion's to accept the interlocal agreement for me to sign. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you, council. Thank you, Ron. Ron, since you were talking, do you just want to go into your report? I know the new employee was going to be here, but
Yeah.
I'll let you talk about him and anything in your report right now.
Yeah, actually, the only thing I need to really add is Paul, our new hire, last week being his first week, done exceptional. He's been very good. I think he's going to be a good fit. He seems to be happy, and we're getting a lot done. So I'm very impressed with how things are going right now. And he will be here to meet you at the next meeting is our plan. Also, I have in my report that we actually installed a base for the wind sculpture at Gaston Park, but actually they got it completed today. So it is up if you get a chance. I think it come out really nice. So thank you, Dennis, for that. And other than that, unless you have questions, I think that's what I have right now.
You haven't, those of you that won't live up in Titsu, I know most of you probably, and I know Dennis makes drives around, you probably see that we've started to clear the back of Gerke Park. And fence is ordered, right?
It is, and it was delayed by a week, so now the projected date is the 24th that it will be delivered. And we're gonna hop on that and get that in.
So that's starting to get that project off our list from a couple of retreats ago.
Yeah.
Any questions for Ron?
No, I just want to thank you, Ron, for the job you guys did up in the park this Saturday. We really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Ron. Next thing on mine is we opened the bids for the sidewalk crossing a week and a half ago. Adam, Tammy, and I, we had 8 bids come in. This is in their packet, right? Mm-hmm. You saw in your packet. My ask for a motion tonight will be that we accept the second bid, which is $1,900 more than bid number 1, but when Adam did his research and he wrote a paragraph there for you that basically the bid number 1 had not been in business long enough to qualify, came from a different company and he worked for somebody else, but now he's got his own company and he has to be in business so long. So basically we cannot accept bid number 1, so that's why you may question why we're accepting bid number 2. And Adam's done everything else to do that. Adam, you want to add anything on that part?
Yeah, the first bidder, they knew that they didn't have the experience, the similar projects of size and scope. Part of that is it needs to be 70% of their bid. Similar projects need to be 70% of their bid, which they were far below that. There were two projects that were around like $20,000 or something. So not of similar size and scope. You know, it would have been nice to give them a chance, I guess, because they did appear to have experience working for other companies, but they didn't meet the criteria, and so be sticking your necks out maybe. But the second bidder, he met the criteria. He has the projects of similar size and scope. I called all of his references; they were all glowing. So, yeah.
And he may be, if we accept the bid tonight, which I hope you will, make a motion here, we may be a month out before they start the project, right, Adam?
I can't give a date for certain because he needs to order
The beacon lights.
the rapid flashing beacons for one. I don't know what the lead time is on those right now. I know supply chains have improved, but for a while they were pretty bad. I think Ron was saying that you guys were having problems with parts for some of the existing beacons during COVID and couldn't get them. So I'll know more by next meeting. I should. I've already been talking with this contractor, and I stressed the urgency to get this project done, and he needs to order them now. So he understood that.
I just wanted that out there that, you know, we may not have the project started in a month right now. I mean, he's not guaranteeing that it'll be next week he's starting. So, any questions for Adam on that? So, go ahead, Ron.
Move to approve the XO contracting for the engineer's recommendation.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the contract to EXO contracting for the crosswalk project, 507 Meyer Street. Any
I'll be
further?
excited. We've been waiting 3 years for this. If it takes them just another month, that's great.
Any further discussion? No further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, council. Adam, you want anything else on your report since you're talking?
Yeah, in addition to that, I spoke with Washout recently, and they say they expect to lower the speed limit up there next month in May.
Excellent.
So I'll try to get another update soon.
Good.
Besides that, the sports courts, it's just, sorry, it's just gotten behind, but I hope to get it out to bid in the next few weeks. So by next council, I should.
Do you have any idea what's going on with the new bathrooms? Or is that
That's-
strictly the county?
That's Thurston County. So that's off. That's nothing with Adam. Anything else, Adam?
I think that's it, yeah.
Any questions for Adam? You know, and I think I've been talking to Adam about the sport court. We had our little meeting in there that you saw when you guys all came in. You know, I do think we need to be aware, and I think We Love Rainier needs to be aware that we're going to have a lot of activity going on in that park this summer. And when the contractors come in, we as a city don't be coming to Tammy and saying we need to all be understanding that when that bathroom gets tore down and a new one goes up, if it's during roundup days, and you know, you mentioned something about the July 4th thing, if we're working on the sport court's going to take some, and they're down there working, I'm going to say that the entire 507 side of the trail is going to be shut down, which is Farmers Market. So, I mean, those of you that are speaking in the community, you know, those are two projects that we've been waiting for. Dennis, I appreciate you just said the crosswalk, but we've been on the sport court for 2 years, and we've been on the bathroom for 2 years. That when time comes and the project starts, some other things are going to be put on hold.
My gut feeling is that the community is going to be happy to see it happen.
Absolutely.
And they'll be not really worried about the delays.
Yeah. So that's why Adam gave a report on that, because I've been kind of every week been asking him where we are, getting that to bid so we could get an idea. Tammy and Beth are constantly in touch with Thurston County about, we need some ideas about the bathrooms, because 4 months from now, Roundup Day's hit, and we got car shows that everybody uses that end of the park. So, you want to add anything to that?
No, you did good.
I got your sign off on that?
Yes, you
don't have an update, because last time you had an update from like 5 minutes before our meeting from Thurston County.
I don't have anything new.
Okay. Good.
I would like to add one thing on the chip seal, crack seal, scrub seal project. I can only restrict one area for a function, so I did choose the week of Roundup days to schedule around. So they won't be, for that 1 week, they won't be in here doing the paving, because like you say, you have car shows, you have all kinds of stuff, and I didn't want that activity for that. But I can only do the one, so if there's something in July and others, we're gonna have to work around. So I would ask for patience from the citizens as well. We'll have to work around it. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Those were think probably the biggest part of what was going to take time at our meeting tonight. Yeah, as most of you know, I like to do the things that are going to take time first. So we'll go back to staff reports, and Jim Gibson, you sitting patiently over there. You got anything?
Sure. So this week, last week, we went and finaled 4 houses up in Trotter Downs. So final means I went up there and inspected the outside, the grass, the stormwater, parking lots, things like that. Building official had already signed off on those 4 homes. So there's 4 new houses completed up there. I know one resident is supposed to move in last weekend. So they're continuing. We've received 3 new building permits up there. So we're processing those. You'll start seeing 3 new homes popping up in that area. I received construction document comments for 105 Michigan. So they finally resubmitted documents with revisions. I'll review those, and if they decide, once we get them right, they can start work out there soon, but it'll be up to their timing. I've heard nothing more on Seattle Street subdivision. It sits there quiet right now. I don't really know what's going on with that one. That's the owner's delay on that one. So with that kind of covers the planning section. Any questions?
And I'm going to add, I did have something for all 3 of these guys that I was going to start off, and I forgot. So Jim and I did write the letter, thanks to Jim, and I sign it. That's the way it's supposed to be. For the the water testing from our 4 wells. And we went back and tested them a second time after all the rainwater. We got that letter. We got the feedback from Bill Halvertson that we had hired. And Jim and I sent the letter off to Thurston County 2 weeks ago. And you were CC'd in the email, weren't you? You and I haven't had a chance to talk. We got an email on Friday from Art from Thurston County Environmentalist, the head of their office. They were going to meet this week with his staff at Thurston County, and then they were going to set up a meeting with us. My understanding was hopefully next week.
That's the way I took it.
Okay. So we haven't talked about that in a while. So that's where we are on that, and our approach will be that we think the studies show that their studies are inaccurate and that we want things changed for our development, but we'll see what happens. But hopefully by the next meeting, we will have some feedback on that. Do you want to add anything more to that?
No, I think you pretty well covered it. They had an opinion of what our situation was. We used the wells to provide differing information, and we've sent the report to them and asked them to look at it. So we'll know next week what they think about that and go from there.
What were nitrate levels like?
So they were predicting they were above 10,
Mm-hmm.
and in one well we had a 2.5. We had 2 other wells, not of ours, but other low areas, and they were traced. So even with that information, we're well below their.
Typical for this area.
Yeah.
We're kind of beckoned to what they decide to do, and we'll get back to you. As a council, you guys allocated us money to do the test holes and fight for it, and we'll see what happens. Okay. Lieutenant Brooks.
Nothing new and exciting. I just asked speed limit and chip seal projects if you, at least when Tammy knows, shoot me an email on the chip seal is going on. And then when the speed limits get adjusted, it can relay some information to others about coming higher, especially the chip seal. If you've done it before, you'll get a zillion complaints of busted windshields and all that good stuff. So I've done
Once I
that
get
for.
the schedule,
Okay.
you and all emergency services are aware.
I know that's a big issue when we do it in the county. We're not chip sealing anything in the county this year, so be happy. We're just doing some overlays of all things up on Martin Way and Yelm Highway. So, but if I can keep in the loop about that, I can pass that along so it gets out, spread out quicker. That's about it.
Any questions for Lieutenant? Thank you, sir. Tammy?
I actually have stuff today. Yes, I do. So, good news. I filed our annual report. So, that is off of our list of things. In your packet is the new SRO contract for the Thurston County Sheriff. Nothing has changed. It simply is a change in dates because currently we do every school year, we renew. Bob and I are going to meet with
Sheriff's Department
Lieutenant
and,
Brady, I think, yes, and the school
Officer
district
Superintendent Brar.
next week. And we don't, there's not going to be any changes. The only change will be that instead of 1 year, we'd like to go 3 years so that we don't have to do this annually when it's not changing. So, but Lieutenant Brady wants to meet with the school to see if they have any changes or whatever they would like for the upcoming school resource officer. Because as you guys probably know, Frank is retiring in June. Yes, I know. We're sad about that. So we'll be having a new SRO next school year. So now is the time to, if we need any changes, now is the good time to do it. So that's done. The other contract in there is LG's contract, our building official. Again, no changes except for he currently works under Pacific Testing and he's going to just be independent. So same price, everything's exactly the same verbiage. It's just him personally, not under Pacific Testing. So if we could, I guess we probably need a motion to sign that.
Okay.
I'll move to approve the LG contract.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second to approve our building officials contract. Any further discussion? No further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you, council.
As a note on that, Bob, just for reference to the council members, he's the one that's certified, not the previous company, so we're getting the same package still as we were always getting.
Good.
Okay. Yeah.
And the SRO contract was just for your information, so there's no action needed tonight on that one. Be thinking about loot to hand out at the parade. Last year, the comment was made that we need to get more creative. So now's your chance to get more creative. So if you guys have any bright ideas, just keep in mind that we do order about 1,000. So we don't want to get $3 items. We want to get like less than $1 items. So that takes our choices down quite a bit. But we did find some good ideas. But if you guys have any ideas, suggestions, please bounce them off of me. That would be excellent.
We've done frisbees, we've done the glasses, we've done fly swatters. We're just trying to get something different. One of the things we talked about was sunglasses. Thinking kids would like that. Another one was, go ahead and share what you and I have talked about.
Well, we saw little flashlights, keychains, pens. We also need to think of things that are easy to carry and hand out or throw. So
bag clips for like potato bags where you
Like
chip clips. We thought about that. Has to be something we can put City of Rainier on, but Maureen came up with that one.
that's a good one.
Yeah, I like that too. We did mini beach balls one year.
Oh yeah,
And that was
Fun.
Really big.
I
It was
bet.
a lot of fun because we could throw
yeah.
So if you hear something or something comes into your mind right away, let Tammy know. I know that she'd like to get those ordered here
Yeah.
By the end of the month.
It's crazy that it's already time to start planning for
Be first
Roundup
of May.
I
Day.
like the idea of the bag clips.
Yeah. I like having something that, people aren't just going to toss when they get home. Like, so it's because it's a lot of money. We might as well make it useful items. So, and the last thing, excuse me, my throat is raspy today. The last thing is Beth has been working on getting bids for cameras at Wilkowski Park. So far, we've met with ADT, and tomorrow or Monday, a different company is coming out to get a quote for that. It's coming in about $8,000. That's for 3 cameras. They'll all be on the pole, but facing different directions. And so that's about $8,000. But I've applied for the grant through the port, which hopefully will be $10,000. So if history repeats itself, we'll get $10,000. So we're hoping that's kind of a wash. So hopefully soon we'll have cameras there. They're going to be similar to the ones we have now for here. We'll actually be able to see Wilkowski Park on our computer screen. So if there's misbehaving going on, while we're here at least, we'll know it. So, and that is all I had.
Any questions for Tammy? Thank you. Bill?
Next week is the Washington State Association Municipal Attorneys meeting. So I'm gonna find out what the legislature did to us and let you all know.
So you're gonna have a report at our next meeting?
At your next meeting, but on the June meeting, I'm gonna be able.
Okay.
Gonna go see the
So
grandchildren
we'll see you in May with a report?
with a report.
And in June?
If there's anything to report, yeah, there usually is.
Okay. Any questions for Bill? Maureen?
No.
Any questions for Maureen? George?
Speaking of Frank, the senior center's we're gonna have coffee with a cop on May 17th. Frank is going to do that. So we figured we're just gonna make that a little party for Frank, so anybody that would like to come up on that day, I'll confirm with you, Tammy, on the date to make sure, but I think it's the 17th.
Okay.
Just a little going away party, we'll pick him up something, and I didn't know if maybe, he's a really popular guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a good guy too.
Yeah. George and I had talked about getting some sort of recognition from us as a city to Frank. So I don't know what that looks like, but if you have any ideas, bounce those off of me as well.
Honorary constable of
Put him on the
City of
wall.
Rainier or something. Yeah.
Put him on the wall.
Good idea. It's a very good idea.
And he's been pretty popular in the school district, so that's a good suggestion.
You said May 17th?
I'll get if it's a Wednesday, it's May 17th, yeah.
It is. Yeah.
So that's the deal.
That it?
Put him on the wall and get one of the bigger tiles.
Nothing more?
So you
No, that was it.
give a lot of information.
I'm not every council meeting causing trouble.
I thought you would at least say something about the Easter egg.
Well, it was a great day for Rainier again, and I'm just damn proud of this community. That's all I can say.
I've never seen so many freaking cars in this community than that day.
That was amazing.
There was amazing of how many cars were down there. And they all used our new parking lots, and they parked correctly. It was good.
They must have been from out of town.
Any questions for George? Thanks, George. Tom?
No, I don't have anything.
Any questions for Tom? Thank you, Tom. Ron?
Just my usual TPD tomorrow morning.
Okay. Any questions for Ron? Thank you, Ron. Dennis?
I attended TRPC last Friday, and nothing really of interest for us. We did approve the requests for projects funding, but none of them are for Rainier area. They're mostly for the Tumwater, Lacey, Olympia, Thurston County.
Did Lacey get the lion's share of that?
Mostly, yeah, they
That's
got
what we
a bunch.
approved
Yeah,
TPD.
yeah, they got a bunch of it. But really nothing that concerns us.
Any questions for Dennis? Thank you, Dennis. I have my Thurston County Mayor's meetings. Just kind of usually all the meetings are a little off because Friday was or Monday, the way the month favored. Usually we have our Thurston County before our council meeting, but that'll be this Friday also. So we're meeting in Dakota this year, or this week. Okay, we'll go to new business. Okay, no new business. We'll go to old business where we agended the item. To add the discussion, if you remembered our last meeting, Laura Emmel came and was on the agenda to make a request for asking that we waive the We Love Rainier, the fee, park fee for We Love Rainier for the 4th of July function. That's the right one.
Yes.
Which you call a different name. I call it 4th of July.
Retro Rainier.
Retro Rainier. So let's just kind of go around. Dennis, you got any? Well, we're just going to go around the room and let the five of you say what you want to say, and then we'll see if there's a motion.
I think I'll just be quiet.
Ron, you want to start the conversation?
Yeah, I think Willow Rainier does a lot for the city, and, you know, I've heard both sides of it in the past, and I'm a little bit divided, but I would back it, going with the waiving fee.
Okay. Tom?
I'm kind of like you. I'm kind of in the middle of it. Kind of. But I have something.
We do it, drop it.
Rainier is a big contributor to this little town. A lot little town, much big town, right? But I love all the stuff that they do, and they don't charge anybody for doing it, and I don't think that, you know, we should be charging them either.
Okay. Just make me. George?
Well, I kind of feel the same way. That, and that allows us to take that money and expand it in the events that we have, and maybe even some other events. And it's not that anybody gets paid. It's just we had almost 40 volunteers up there on Saturday. You can believe that. So there's a lot of people that are in the community, I think, that pretty happy with what goes on. That's it.
Maureen?
Okay, so my question is going to be, I wasn't on the council when you guys put your fee structures in place. So why would you put a fee structure in place but then waive your fees? That's going to be my question.
I agree. And I have a question for you, George, that
Yeah.
might help with this. You had a vendor at the Easter egg hunt,
Right.
and you didn't charge the vendor to be there.
Correct.
But you mentioned before the meeting that next time.
Next
you're
time
gonna
we will charge.
Okay. So what would you do with the money that you get from the vendor?
Probably spend it the following year on about $1,200 worth of candy. I mean, we've got accounting for every single penny that's come in and come out.
You wouldn't charge them $1,200.
No, but that money would go towards buying $1,200 worth of candy, Dennis.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
I understand that, but I guess when in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, if this is a volunteer, and it is an all-volunteer event, and it's great, it was just amazing. And so you want to do it without a fee, so you can help toward that. Isn't the vendor also kind of volunteering to help toward that, or not?
No, not really. The vendor, it's hard to get vendors. So, and Robbie, jump in, please.
No.
Okay.
We can't do
Just
that
in case I left
for
something out.
council discussion.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's been very difficult to get a vendor. So for Trunk or Treat and Easter, we had vendors for both of those. And we couldn't guarantee them any kind, we didn't know what the response was going to be. So we did not charge them. So
For vendors.
response was extremely low. So next year we will charge them. But that money will go back into events.
Well, I understand that, but what I'm trying to clarify is, you've had trouble getting
Coming
vendors,
to you and I,
like
not
for
waive
the
their
Easter egg
fees, we're
hunt.
better off to
But
give
one
them
did show up.
$2,100.
My concern is if we start
You for that.
charging vendors, but we don't charge you guys, that the vendors may say, you know, I'm not coming. And
I don't think that is an issue in any way, shape, or form.
Can I interrupt here real
Yeah.
quick? You guys have good dialogue, but I think it hadn't got around to me and Tammy yet. We put a fee structure in place. My concern and Tammy's concern is we have this park fees. And if we start waiving this for, last year, we went back and looked at the minutes and it was, we waived the fees for the integral first year. Okay, that's how it's even worded in our meeting. If we start now doing it, I think we're gonna be backed into a corner, as in the car show's coming to us. Everybody's gonna be coming to Tammy in this office. Then we're set a precedence and we're gonna have to come to the council. So if we wanna stay with the fee structure, my recommendation is if you choose to waive the fees, and I'm speaking for Tammy and I both here, if we choose to waive the fees, then our proposal from city staff is going to be, we waive the fee structure that we put in place, the four of you on a council 2 years ago. And we just let everybody do whatever in the park, because I don't think that's right as a city to give something to somebody but not somebody else. And there is no dispute. We all know what We Love Rainier goes. There's nobody sitting here that has a hard on for We Love Rainier. It's a great organization. But that's just my thought. So now here's my proposal. We've already given We Love Rainier $2,000 the last 2 years to help We Love Rainier. If you as a council want to waive this fee, my proposal would be we don't waive the fee. It's a $100 fee, that we amend and give them $2,100 rather than $2,000, and we don't have to change our fee structure, and we give them $2,100 and they get their $100 waiver. In reality, we give them $2,100, they pay us back $100.
I have
That's a thought.
a counter idea. Suppose we charge every event $100 as a deposit in case they leave a mess and our staff has to clean it up. If they clean up behind themselves and don't leave a mess, they get their $100 back.
That's not a problem at all. I mean,
Well, it hasn't been.
No, and I guess my concern is, I don't think it's so much the use fee, but if we have a food vendor come in, then they've got to get a license from the city, and that money goes to the city, it doesn't go to the We Love Rainier. And that's probably a whole different discussion. The car show people pay, I don't know how much they pay, and then they pay the city a fee out of that, I believe. So if we're paying a park fee, wouldn't that include use of the park? And for whatever purposes we deemed we wanted to use it for. I'm just a question. It's not, I don't have, one way or the other. I want to do what's right. That's all,
My only concern is what I said, is if we waive a fee, then it's public record. And as soon as that gets out there, we're going to have other groups coming in asking to waive the fee. It's your guys' decision. You put the fee structure in place 2 years ago. And we did a whole council retreat and we rewrote the fee structure. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that we did that. Now we're back to, if we want to do that, that was a suggestion how we could keep the fee structure in place and supplement the $100. But
I definitely like.
Yeah, I go with that thought too.
I like your idea. I think that's.
Well, I do too, but I don't think $2,100 is going to cut it. How many events do you have a year that you'd like to waive the fee for?
Well, the city's been kind enough to let us do Halloween in the park and
Okay, good. We have one topic that we're talking about right now. The topic was they asked to waive the fees for retro Rainier.
Yes.
So we're talking about we either waive the fees or, I mean, I guess to me, that's the only one we're talking about. We're not
Or
talking.
amend the fee schedule so that there is no park fee.
No, I think
I mean,
what Bob's saying is right.
I
I
thought
don't
we
want to
keep the
waive
park
the
fee the
park
same.
fee. You know, so.
I mean, if there was a car show sitting here, they would probably want to have their 2 cents in, you know, and really, you guys, we're talking $300 a year. That's 3 events. So this is not a big revenue source. So would it be easier for everybody if we just said there is no special event park fee use?
No,
No,
I disagree. I think we basically stick with our park fees and let it go with that.
Okay,
And then
So
if we
that's-
decide in the fall, or if we make our next budget to give $2,100 or $2,200 to Love Rainier, then that's a different issue. And we don't want to connect the two. Because then we're gonna have other people asking for charity. and we're gonna
I
have
understand
all the tied up.
I completely understand that. I just am so, for instance, there's the library wants to use the park for a summer reading program. Where do we draw the line? What's a special use park fee? I don't want to charge the library for 2 hours in the park reading to kids, but what's the definition of special use? Is my question. So to me, it seems like it'd be easier just to not have a park fee. But it's not my decision, so.
Well, maybe we need to amend our fee schedule and only charge a fee for for-profit events.
yeah, that would work.
Andrews.
I would go with that.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, Easter egg hunts are not-for-profit, retro Rainiers are not-for-profit,
The library's not for
the
profit.
library's not-for-profit. Bluegrass is the only one that's actually for profit, because they charge.
And that goes to the senior center.
Yeah, but I mean, they do charge, so it is a for-profit.
We've never charged them. So, this is what I'm saying, it gets very complicated.
So that's, as soon as we start making an exception, I go back to 2 years ago when we did this, the plan was new bathrooms are gonna be down there, there's gonna be a new sport court. I think we need to table the discussion, because I don't think we're ready tonight to all at once say we're gonna drop our costs.
Yeah, I agree.
I think what we need, a decision tonight was where I was trying to get us through the meeting that, maybe I didn't make it clear, if we give them $2,100, like we've given them $2,000 already, we can do that, right? We could just change it to make a motion that we're gonna give, we made a mistake and we're gonna give them an additional $100. That'll cover their request, with which some of you seemed like you wanted to waive the fee, but we're not gonna waive the fee because then we're opening up a can of worms. That make sense?
Well, realistically, they're gonna put on retro Rainier whether we charge them $100 or don't charge them $100. And we've got 3 months before that event happens, so it's not like it's a rush that has to be done tonight. We've got time to give it some thought.
Yeah, I think we've got to do what's right though, as a blanket coverage. And I really like the non-profit, because you don't want to charge the library, you don't want to charge the Cub Scouts and
Yeah.
the Girl Scouts. And yeah.
Or Rainier's Got Talent. You know, I mean,
So I move that we table it for now.
Second.
Okay. There's a motion and a second that we will table the discussion. Thank you, council. Any other old?
So I'm writing a $100 check to We Love Rainier, or I'm not doing anything yet?
No.
We just tabled it.
Okay.
so we're gonna vote on that?
So there's a
We
motion.
We tabled it.
You did a motion in a second.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought we voted.
So there's a motion and a second to table the discussion regarding,
Fee schedule.
fee, well, it actually was tabled in discussion to, the,
The fee.
waiving the park fees. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed 5-0. Thank you very much, council.
Move that we adjourn.
You two fight over that every time. There's a motion and a second to adjourn. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting officially adjourned 5:50 p.m.